Hi, I'm Amelia.
And I'm Matt.
And this is Be More Picard, the YouTube show where we seek out new ways to improve ourselves by boldly talking about Star Trek.
Today we're going to talk about one of the great things going on with one of Picard's most loyal colleagues and all-round badasses, Worf, son of Mogh.
So grab yourself a cup of blood wine, your favourite Klingon snacks, and let's engage.
You can't keep a good Klingon down for long. Worf has got the resilience beyond even the most buttoned-up Vulcan to our mind. Even in the Next Generation, where we see him experience this, whether he's just been mocked by other Klingons, critically injured and not sure if his body will repair itself, or losing his old lover and the mother of his child, he does not let it break him. Sure, he goes through some dark times and has a few funny ideas on how to deal with some things, but he does overcome. As we get to know him in Deep Space Nine and even into Picard, we're going to start including that stuff in our episodes now, he experiences further loss with his wife Jadzia, and at that point you wouldn't blame him for going off into a wood somewhere and living on his own and just seeing out his days like that, never talking to another person again. But he doesn't. He keeps on going. You meet him at a later point in his life where he's found something that resembles peace and acceptance. It's an immense journey and character arc, one we probably will come to visit again on this channel. So after all of this pain, loss, loneliness and disappointment, he's always coming out of it on the other side. And usually having learned something that will make him even stronger mentally and at the end even better for himself and for others.
He's a good role model and father to his son. He's not perfect. He's absent in many ways and probably lets a lot of his old issues and sense of duty to his work get in the way. But you can tell that he really cares. He wants to be a good parent and help to create a productive adult. And there are times where he tries really hard to pull himself out of his comfort zone so that Alexander can spend some quality time learning and playing with his father. And this is no more apparent than the episode A Fistful of Datas. Check out our full episode to see how Worf puts his discomfort aside there, to be there for his son in the way that he needs him to be, not in the way that Worf thinks he should be there for his son. Parenthood is messy. People lose their tempers, they get disappointed when their child doesn't take the path that they thought that they might, and finding a connection can be hard as they begin to find their independence, and no one puts that in the manual. Although we're sure that if there was a Starfleet issued manual, Worf would have read it from cover to cover and organised some simulated drills, just to practice.
His sense of purpose. Worf's character in The Next Generation is all about the duty. Duty to his work gives him a sense of purpose. This creates an internally focused anchor for him of something that is only going to change if he decides that it should. If he had decided that his internal compass came from his romantic partners, Picard, Starfleet, we know that these things can change. They can die, they can be no longer aligned with his values, leaving him feeling adrift. When we align to things that are internal and immovable, this can give you the confidence to live according to your values and, as we've seen, give someone the strength to overcome most challenges that life has to offer. This is someone who knows who they are, and what they have to offer and how they can give their best. His purpose keeps him present and focused on what he's going to do and who he wants to be, which seems to be less emotionally reactive than your typical Klingon. And the next way that we want to be more Worf,
he's great at managing his anger. Again, he's not perfect. He does absolutely lose it at times, and we do see that repeatedly. And it's certainly a journey rather than a destination. And it's something that we should all try to remember when we're trying to hold it together. It's also interesting that there are times that he can turn that anger inside on himself and be very hard on himself, which is not such a great thing. But hey, we've all got things that we're trying to be better at, right? His human exposure versus his Klingon nature conflicts him in so many ways, especially when you see how the Klingons generally carry themselves. Their reactivity, the violence and misplaced sense of honour is just normal in their world. You only have to see how Gowron and the Klingon High Council act. Anyone who they don't like is without honour, but Worf is always striving to be better on that front.
A super efficient fighter. We've talked about fighting when it comes to Starship Mine. Worf is super strong, there's no doubt about it. There are very few people who could take him on the Enterprise, although we all know that Data could certainly have him. And yet with all that muscle power, access to phasers and super sharp bat'leths, he does what he needs to do. Star Trek is not Rambo when it comes to an increasing body count. What's great about seeing Worf fight is that we will give his best, but as the situation needs it to. Even if he's giving 100%, he doesn't waste his energy, and he doesn't rely on his Klingon physiology to take unnecessary risks. This makes him one of the ultimate Starfleet fighters, controlled aggression delivered as needed, less paperwork for the admin team, and Enterprise's insurance premiums stay reasonable as the head of security is alert and measured.
And of course, all of these things are why Captain Picard obviously wants Worf on his bridge amongst his cracked humour specialists. So if you can find a way to be more Picard
and Worf,
make it so.